So on the point-to-point railroad here, we're at one end, and this is what you had indicated before was Ottawa.
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about what happens here?
Well, it's the end of the line, but it's not finished because these two tracks theoretically keep going to Montreal.
Okay.
But this is the Ottawa yard. So this is the passenger service. This is the yard classification. This is the engine routing and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And these are turntable with the different places you can put the engines.
Right.
But you can operate two operators here. One can take care of a hustler just of the yard and the engine, and the other one can do the switching.
Right.
Or
the train building.
Yes.
Okay.
So you know it's a layout by itself, really.
Yes.
And the trick of this, I remember somebody said, if you build a yard, make sure you have a long throat to approach long tracks so that you can pull trains out of there.
Yes, exactly. A lead, a big lead.
Yeah, a lead. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. So there's the reality of it all. There's a large classification yard, a passenger terminal in the back, and you have a caboose track there.
Yep.
And then you have your locomotive facilities, your turntable, and your storage of locomotives. You've got quite a fleet there.
Yeah. They all work nice.
Oh, and so the motif here is mostly Canadian Pacific, I take it.
Yes. Yes, because
or is Canadian Pacific.
Yeah, and the old colors, and also it's the same colors as the Ottawa U, GG colors.
In the yard, you have this nice box where all of your car cards are stored for the specific cars that are currently in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
So you have it laid out in terms of each location that these cars are eventually going to go to. So you have like a Hull section, a Keonn section, a Bristol section, and coal, diesel, and empty reefers and piggyback. And in the front you have arrival departure. So I guess when people come in with their trains, they put their cards in there.
That's right.
And when they're ready to leave, they pull their trains from the box.
They're on a train card like this.
Right. Okay.
See.
All right.
And they have their schedule on it as well.
Okay, I see.
This one is simple, but if you look at this one, it has more operation. They meet a certain train at Keonn, or change a caboose, or pick up a reefers, things like that.
So how about pulling out a car card here? Just take this New York Central box there. BCR, I guess.
NYC.
NYC.
This is the number of the car.
Yeah.
It's a box, 40 foot, and it's BC red.
Right.
Now it's empty, return to Ottawa yard.
Right.
Now next move is number 1, which is one box car to Pontiac plywood doors in Keonn.
Right.
So this would be put in the Keonn, in this Keonn yard.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where that car is going.
Right.
Instead of having all the box car on one track and the reefers on the one other track, it makes a hell of a job to pick them up and make up trains. But if you put them on the track where they're going next, it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
It could be done. We did it at the beginning, but it took too long to make a train. The guy in the yard couldn't keep up.
Well, let's move to the next town along the line and see what's there. Frank, what's the location here? There's quite a bit of track work. It looks like a Y.
Yeah, this is Hull. It's a Y. They used to call the station. It used to be not there, but for planning facilities, I put it there.
Yeah.
And that Y was used to turn the trains around and go either to Waltham or Maniwaki or back to Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
And it went right across the Ottawa River to toward Parkdale.
Yes.
And of course, the Hull in the back has all kinds of industries, which are well known, like E.B. Eddy, which is not there anymore. And you got Pilon Lumber, which is still there. And we had Hull Iron Works, and we had Hull Foundry,
right.
which I think are not existent anymore. And CIL they had one in Canada Packers.
So those tracks on the upper level are all part of Hull.
Yes.
Now what's on the lower level here?
That's Waltham, that's the
That's
other end of
Waltham,
town.
the other end of town.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you've got
The other end of the layout.
other end of the layout. Okay. So what we've been doing now is when we left Ottawa, basically we went across the river to Hull,
That's right.
and we were on the upper level.
Yeah, and then we'd be coming out of Hull.
Yeah. So it's coming from the back out of Ottawa
It's coming.
and into Hull.
Yeah.
And now we're leaving Hull.
And we're going down on this track. Oh, this track is not with that at all.
Yes. Okay.
It just goes through the tunnel,
Right.
and then on the way back it stops in Quio, which is
All
a
right.
little town now.
So this is a dogbone system you have here. Basically, it loops back and forth. So the when the train's leaving Hull, it's going straight to the tunnel,
Yeah,
and then it comes through the tunnel back out
in
and
Quio.
into Quillon. Let's have a couple of industries, I take it.
Yeah, we've got aggregates.
Yeah.
We've got some feed
Right.
and plywood doors, and we have a warehouse, a team track,
Yep.
and then we've got an icing right behind the station. It keeps you pretty busy.
Yeah. And it's facing and trailing switches, so you have to run around.
Yeah, it's a good exercise.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not the toughest one, but it's a tricky one.
Yeah. And there's your box for your
Yeah.
the control of the
Each
cars
town.
that are in the town. Yeah, and where they're going to be going eventually.
Exactly. These are the eastbound, westbound. Like
Yeah.
this train, this train, is going. But then the other train coming is coming in the same direction, but it's going to take over this one
Yes.
because this is a peddler. So
Right.
it's not a very quick running one. Well, once you've gone through Quio,
Yeah.
you keep going, but then you're coming in on this track,
Okay.
and this track comes into Shawville,
Okay.
and this is Shawville from these tracks here. You see, in those days, we never thought about shelf layouts.
Right.
So this is why we did it this way. Otherwise, maybe today I'd make it in 2 levels.
Right.
But in those days, it wasn't thought of.
So prior to shelf layouting, you basically ran back and forth at different levels
Yeah.
to generate distance along the line in towns.
Yeah, and try to mix them so that
Yeah.
they wouldn't interfere with each other. So and this is Shawville, and Shawville has a few industries. It's got a freight house, we've got a furniture co-op and a machine shop, and then it's got the big mine that connects with Bristol Mines, which was a taconite, originally iron ore, but then it burned. You know, the quality went down, so they carried taconite, and then at the late years they had in small pellets, sort of purple pellets. They were all ready to go in the furnace, blast furnace, instead of. So they had, at one point they were carrying some clay and what have you, coal in to mix it up and crush. And then down on the side there's the pit there. It's not finished yet,
Right.
but it'll be an open pit mine where all the trucks are going to move around there
Sure.
and bring the stuff. That's a job by itself. And but it's an interesting place to run. A train that comes in with coal and goes out empty. There's another one leaving the mine full of iron ore or taconite, goes out and comes back empty.
After Shawville,
There's
it goes down grade
yes,
and goes
down,
and there's a dogbone loop.
yeah, yes, it comes under,
Yeah.
and it passes right in front of Quillon, which of course it's not supposed to. And then by coming back this way,
So it does a double dogbone,
Yeah,
one
it
at
goes-
this end, one at the other end, and
Yeah.
and it comes back on itself,
yes,
and that creates distance, and then it comes into
and then the lower one comes into Waltham.
Waltham, which is the end of the line.
And Waltham again is a small yard, with engine facilities, the turntable, and it has a passenger service as well.
Okay.
A few industries, freight house, post office on the other side, and then of course there's a car ferry which is going to come along this side here eventually, because this is the only section I haven't finished yet.
Right.
So I've got about, I don't know, 2-3 feet of track. All the tracks are code 70. It's all hand laid. I got a kick out of it. All the switches are handmade. They work very well. Very few wear and tear. You know, sometimes they'll come unsoldered, so you also solder back. Same as the railroads. It doesn't last forever. So.